Hey guys, it's Kendall here, and welcome to a brand new video. So today I'm going to be doing something completely different from anything I've ever done before, and I'm going to be talking about North Korea. Completely unrelated to Clash of Clans, I know, but I wanted to talk about this because um, it's a real threat. It's like a real world thing that we as human beings need to be informed about. So I want to talk to you guys about it. Um, if you live in the United States, North Korea is the biggest threat to America right now. It's bigger than ISIS, bigger than climate change, because with ISIS, they're in the Middle East. They can't really affect us that much. They don't have like a nuclear arsenal ready to hit us at any time. But North Korea does. North Korea is nearing the technology to basically strike the United States. With a nuclear missile, they have their range. Um, they recently launched an ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile, that could have reached Alaska if they wanted to do it. So this is the biggest threat, and we need to know about this. So there's obviously so much debate about what we should do, what our government should do if you live in the United States for North Korea. Um, some people talk about engaging with North Korea, trying to get them to go diplomatic, just talk to them about it and tell them to, get rid of your nuclear missiles. Well, that's not going to work because time and time again, North Korea has been unwilling to cooperate with the US, unwilling to cooperate with South Korea, unwilling to cooperate with anyone essentially. So engaging them is not going to work. And the new South Korean president, Moon, that's, I guess, his policy, but trust me, that's not going to work. Other people say, just strike them first or something with our nuclear arsenal here in the United States. I don't think that makes much sense at all because either way, we'd start a nuclear war, and obviously that's not what we want. What we want is a peaceful world where only trustworthy powers like the United States have access to nuclear weapons and not some random nation that's isolated, that's sketchy, I guess, like North Korea, to be possessing these weapons that could possibly cause our entire race to go extinct. So, like I said, there's a lot of debate, and here's my plan. I guess not my plan, but here's my accepted plan. This is what I think our government should do in order to counter this threat of North Korea, which is very, very big. So I think that China is the key. Definitely China, because China has the unique leverage over North Korea. I believe like 90% of North Korea's trade is with China. So China has huge economic leverage over North Korea. And the thing about North Korea is that they aren't really being affected by sanctions right now. The United Nations imposed sanctions on North Korea. The US imposed sanctions on North Korea. These economic sanctions designed to cut North Korea of all its money. And if they don't have any money, they won't be able to create any nuclear weapons. That's the whole point. But they're not working. Sanctions are failing because China is not fully enforcing them. China always bails North Korea out whenever North Korea needs help or whatever. And obviously, China has their reasons to help North Korea. They've been historic communist allies, but things have got to change. China has got to realize that North Korea is the biggest threat to not only them, to the whole world right now. So if China enforces the sanctions that were imposed by the UN, which China currently is not enforcing, then North Korea will definitely be hurt because, like I said, China has so much leverage over North Korea. Imagine if China just stopped trading with North Korea. Like right now, China is sending North Korea stuff. North Korea is sending China coal. This trade going back and forth. Imagine that just stopped. Suddenly, you have North Korea short of so much money because their biggest trading partner by far is not trading with them anymore due to the sanctions. Now North Korea has no choice but to give up its nuclear weapons because it has no money to do it. Like, they will not have the resources to research and test these nuclear weapons. Right now they do, but if the sanctions are imposed and they are effectively enforced by China, then they won't. So Yeah, that's basically my plan. Have China enforce the sanctions. But the problem right now, why isn't China enforcing the sanctions? Well, there's the part about historic ally with North Korea, but there's also another huge part of this, which is the U.S.-China relations currently. They've gone really sour. And it's not because of Trump or anything like that. It's because of THAAD. THAAD is a missile defense system that stands for Terminal High Altitude Area Defense System. And THAAD is being installed to South Korea right now. They halted it for a while, but it's still being installed. It's not being pulled back or anything. And China hates THAAD. They hate THAAD because they think that having a missile defense in South Korea, the US says, hey, we're putting this here to defend against North Korea, right? But China thinks that THAAD will be also used to defend against them. So they don't want THAAD in South Korea, but the U.S. is still pushing for THAAD to be installed in South Korea. And this is souring U.S.-China relations. And because the U.S.-China relations are low, because THAAD is ruining the relations right now, China is not going to listen to the U.S. The U.S. is repeatedly telling China, hey, put your foot into North Korea, impose these sanctions, enforce the sanctions, get North Korea to stop. And China isn't listening because the relations are low. They're not going to listen to the U.S. if you don't even trust the U.S. So that's why the relations are low. That's why China isn't enforcing the sanctions. However, China has said this many, many times through their foreign ministry. They've said if the U.S. removes THAAD, if they pull back THAAD from South Korea from being installed, then China will enforce the sanctions on North Korea. It's a quid pro quo deal where the U.S. Does something, and then China does something in return. So it's this sort of two-way engagement right here, and this is going to work. If we remove THAAD, which, by the way, I'm going to talk about THAAD for a bit. THAAD is a completely useless system. It's not going to work against North Korea because you know why? North Korea has the technology to surpass missile defense. Missile defense has, I believe, only a 40% success rate anyways. Plus, North Korea with this Nodong missile, if you know about that, they can actually surpass the missile defense. So THAAD will be useless anyway. So why are we installing a useless system that's not only costing the US billions of dollars, not only costing South Korea billions of dollars, ruining our relations with China, and at the same time provoking North Korea? Because they see missile defense being installed in North Korea, and they're going to be like, whoa, 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 like, no. You do that, we're going to upgrade our technology too. Like, you can go try to stop us, but we're just going to try to find ways to get around it. That's what they're doing. That's why they continue developing nuclear technology, because the U.S. is trying to do military defense with South Korea and provoking North Korea to just continue doing this. So yeah, that's why THAAD is useless. Also, another thing about THAAD is ruining Chinese and South Korean relations. Like I said, China doesn't like THAAD. Since THAAD is being installed in South Korea, China and South Korea, their relations are sort of iffy right now because of THAAD. And if there's low relations between China and South Korea, that obviously doesn't mean anything good for the whole East Asia region. So it's just better to remove THAAD, which is a useless system, not going to do anything, and instead strike up this deal with China saying, hey, we removed that, you go ahead and enforce those sanctions on North Korea. And I promise you, at least in my vision, that will work. In theory, it's probably the best thing that we can do at this point to try to denuclearize North Korea. We don't want a violent denuclearization. We want a calm and peaceful denuclearization of the Korean peninsula, especially North Korea. And the best way to do that is to put sanctions on North Korea. They really have no choice but to stop. It's not like we're going to go in and strike them with our nuclear missiles or go ahead and assassinate their leader, Kim Jong-un, which will obviously provoke them, just make the whole matter escalate into something huge, which is obviously what we don't want. So yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I know I ranted on a lot for this video, and this is a pretty big topic for me. I did research this quite a bit last year for debate, because I am on the debate team. But yeah, comment down your thoughts below on North Korea, whether you have any other plans or anything. But Yeah, this is basically my proposal, my plan for our government. I think our government needs to make the right decision to just remove THAAD. Like I said, not going to work THAAD in South Korea. But yeah, so like this video if you did enjoy it. Tell me if you want to see more of these types of videos. I actually know a lot of like this type of foreign policy, domestic policy stuff. So yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later.